Hi, this is Chef Remy. Today I'm bringing you Cuban style chicken croquettes. Now notice I said Cuban style because there's many other styles. Not only that, but all different kinds of meats. Now here we're using a grinder, but we could also use a food processor. And bear in mind, I said different kinds of meat, so we could have put leftover steak, leftover turkey, leftover chicken. We could put some vegetables in here also. You know, there's all different kinds of vegetables, especially Spanish vegetables that you never even heard of. There's one called yautía, there's yuca. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I'm going to make a little series of croquettes, probably about 10 different types of croquettes, and different ways to make them also. But the most basic is to make a sauce called Béchamel sauce. We're going to put all different ingredients, but here in the Cuban style, we're going to use some chopped celery, and we chop it up as fine as we can. Now bear in mind it's going to get sautéed in butter, so it will reduce itself quite a bit. Also, we're putting in some onion, and you could put scallions in there. That's a twist. All right, and some parsley, and of course you could put cilantro instead. Now we, of course, are putting in salt and pepper and nutmeg. We do want half a teaspoon of nutmeg. Here's some butter, some flour. All right, there's our parsley. We have a setup here, and we always want to get everything ready to go like you see. Now we got a cup of milk and a cup of chicken broth. Very important to have both. And we want to heat them up also, the broth and the milk. Heat it up. Now there goes our butter, and we're going to start melting it. And notice I'm using a very heavy enameled iron cast pan. The heavier the better. And we're using medium heat. Whenever you make a sauce, use medium heat or a little lower if possible to avoid burning. Now this is going to take a little time. Let the celery cook down, and then we put a little bit of flour. Okay, and we stir up our flour, and basically what we're doing here is we're cooking the flour until you get kind of a little smell of peanut butter, kind of. That tells you that the flour is cooked. Also, see how it's going to kind of form a paste. We can put our onion in there now, and maybe a little bit of salt to help the onion cook. All right. So just take your time and make sure that you're cooking the flour. Now we're putting in our milk, a little bit, and the chicken broth, a little bit. Kind of stir it around a little bit, see if it'll thicken on you. If it starts to thicken, go ahead and put some more. See, there it is. And might as well put the rest of it in there. And now just whip it up real good, and it will thicken on you. Don't worry, it will thicken. Now we put our parsley in. We put that in last, you know, because parsley will turn bitter if you cook it too much. And it'll lose its taste, of course, if you just cook it. So put it in last. And now we're looking to thicken this up. When you see the bubbling, now there goes our salt, our nutmeg, and our pepper. That, of course, will go in last. And we'll be tasting along the way to make sure that it tastes good. Always be tasting. Now there, you see it's thickening. And just stir it a little bit more. Now we put in our chicken. And you see how nice and thick it's become. But it's not going to be thick enough to make croquettes yet. For that, we're going to have to kind of doctor it up a little bit as you we'll see in a very short time here. Always be tasting, always be checking the thickness. Okay, now, here comes the point where we want to take it off the stove, and while it's very, very hot, we want to do the process of getting it thick enough to make croquettes. So here's what we do. We take some egg yolk and just beat it a little bit and pour it into the hot, very hot bechamel along with some Parmesan cheese. We're using 2 tablespoons of cheese and 2 egg yolks. Do not use whole eggs at this point, because all it'll do is just kind of loosen it up a little bit, the opposite of making it thick. Just the yolks, that's the binder, and the cheese. Now watch and see how thick it gets here in a moment. We're going to put a little breading in. Yeah, a little bit of breading. The breading is cooked, and of course the eggs are getting cooked because it's still very, very hot, hot enough to cook the eggs. You won't have to worry about it. And there, it's getting thicker and thicker. It's almost thick enough. Not quite yet. At this point, if you had it to do croquettes, it would fall apart on you. So we're going to put it into the refrigerator. We'll let it cool off. The eggs are cooked. So we're going to just put it into this little container, let it cool off, then cover it, then put it in the refrigerator for a couple of hours. And this is what you're going to do to all the other croquette recipes that are coming with different kinds of meat, you know, like leftover steak, turkey, corned beef, that kind of thing. Okay, now we've got our setup here for the breading. We've got a couple of eggs, we got some breading, we got some flour. Okay, we got all our little spatulas, slotted spoons, bowls, everything ready to go. And here's how you do the breading. You make sure that your hands are wet. If they're not wet, it's going to stick to your hands. You're going to make a mess. And don't worry about making a mess. You'll get it after maybe you've done 5 or 6 of them. You'll be able to get this shape that you see here. Yeah, you'll be able to do it also. Now, we're going to put them into some flour first. So just kind of drop them in there and roll them around a little bit. Use this kind of bowl with sides so you don't make a mess. And then put them into another container. Don't worry about the shape at this point. They're going to lose their shape. Now here is a nice way to put the egg yolk on them. Slotted spoons, a bowl with some high sides. Okay. And then, now here comes the breading. You drop it into the breading. And again, look at the bowl. Look how we roll it around in there. We're not getting our hands in there. Okay, we're not touching anything hardly. Okay, and then don't worry about the shape either. Okay, now 350 degrees. We kind of adjusted the shape a little bit. You might even want to put them in the refrigerator for a couple of hours after you bread them to make them a little bit stiffer. Okay, so 2 minutes is good enough because everything is cooked. You know, the breading is cooked. Everything is cooked, so really we're only worrying about getting it golden brown. Alright, just like that. And that's pretty much it. Now what I'd like for you to do, if you get a chance, is go over to my website. It's called thevideocook.com. I'll put it up here on the screen for you. And when you go there, you're going to see, hundreds of recipes, like maybe Chinese, Italian, Spanish, good old American, Southern American, you know, all kinds of recipes. And they're all categorized for you so that, like if you wanted to look For a chicken dish, you would look up poultry. If you wanted to look for a sauce, you would look up sauces. And you could also see it in Spanish and English. And pretty soon it'll be in French, Italian, Portuguese, Chinese, Arabic, all of those languages. So this website has taken me a long time to put together. And if you get a chance, go on over to it, to videocook.com. And there you have it. Cuban style chicken croquettes. Give it a shot. Try all different kinds of things with it. Have fun with it. So this is Chef Remy. Thanks for watching. And I hope you liked this video. You get a lot out of it. And try some yourself. Visit thevideocook.com. Leave me a comment. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.